The game is over.
Second and 6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And it's the day after.
He's a guy that approaches the game the right way. I can't say enough great things about Tuck and just the growth that we've seen from him from the time he's gotten here. But it's not only on the football field, it's every facet of life, I would say. And he's a real leader for us.
Yeah, I mean, with all the playmakers we have on our offense, you might as well just call us a five-headed dragon.
This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios. Here's Greg Matzik and Gary Ellerson.
Well, it's been a minute since the Packers played and beat the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football, giving Gary Ellerson and I a little more time to digest what we watched last week Thursday as we settle in for Monday Night Football, a doubleheader tonight with a pair of games, and we are broadcasting live from Potawatomi Sportsbook in the beautiful Potawatomi Hotel Casino in Milwaukee. Gary, welcome back. We are back, and the Packers are 2-0 after 2 wins in 5 days against NFC powers. Couldn't start the season any better.
No, it really couldn't. I think when you look at the Packers, and you were thinking to yourself, maybe they go 1-1 when the season started, right? But you didn't know they were going to make the big trade for Micah Parsons. Then now your expectations are a little bit higher. And then we saw him play the very first game. You're like, okay, did they beat the Detroit Lions like that? Did St. Brown actually play in that game? And he did, but we didn't know that he was there. And Jared Goff came Mr. Checkdown guy the whole game. And so now are the expectations for the Green Bay Packers, I believe, around the state of Wisconsin or maybe nationwide is much higher than we both anticipated.
You know, I think you and I, and I'm sure a lot of Packers fans looked at it and said, all right, well, if you split, not the end of the world. Yeah. Certainly looked daunting to start the season the way the Packers did, given the teams they were opposing. I'm sure after a win, Packers fans probably got a little greedy about things, right? Ooh, now you get 2 wins over 2 top teams here in the NFC. I do wonder from an inside the locker room standpoint. Players don't look at it that way, though, right? I mean, is it really do they really look at things like, these 2 tough games, hey, let's just worry about game 1 first, we'll worry about game 2 second, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, understanding that they were probably preparing for those games somewhat simultaneously.
2 things can be true, yes and no. You try to keep focus on that game that you got to play this week. That's all you're doing, right? So that Detroit game was front and center because they had been kicking your tail for the last 3 years, right? And they knocked you out of the playoffs one year with Aaron Rodgers. And they seem to be the new pretty young girl on the block, right, that everybody wanted. And so you had to come in and knock them off that pedestal. And they did in a fashion that we thought that it couldn't happen, meaning that they overpowered the Detroit Lions. And that's their thing, the Lions, right? They want to come in and beat you up. And the Packers gave it back to them. And so they move past that and they get to Washington, which was in the NFC Championship game last year. And they was the new upcoming girl, so to be. And you know that was a big opponent that they had to go play, and they beat them. What gives them time to go, aha, is this kind of little bye week that they had, and they realize what they actually just did because now you have time to think about it and to actually enjoy those 2 games. But you got to keep going, obviously. But I think that's how players in the locker room probably see it. It is game to game, but because you had a long break, now you realize the 2 teams that you actually just beat. Because, coming back was in 4 or 5 days like that, that's really tough to do. Your mind can't be on anything else but the opponent that you're playing.
So let's talk about the Micah Parsons effect, because we looked at this after the Detroit game, and it was a great start to the tenure of Micah Parsons in Green Bay. It could not really have gone any better. He affected plays in so many different ways. Let's look ahead now, or look at what he did against the Washington Commanders. So through 2 games, 10 pressures, 7 hurries, 1.5 sacks. I think they actually stat corrected that to 2 sacks now for Micah Parsons. About 25% of his pass rushes are wins for Micah Parsons. If you consider the amount of double teams he's seeing and the bodies that are in front of him, that is a remarkably high total. And his overall defensive grade, if you want to get into Pro Football Focus, is about 85, and that is a very high grade for Pro Football Focus. My question to you is, who benefits the most through 2 weeks that you have seen on defense? Who benefits the most from Micah Parsons being on the field?
Good question. Obviously, everybody does. I mean, the entire team, offense, defense, special teams, everybody does. But I'm going to give you a position that I think really benefit the most, and we saw it. The secondary. Keyshawn Nixon. Because now you if you're a quarterback, you've got to get the football out of your hands before you really want to do it. Just a tick or 2 seconds. And that allows defensive backs to break on the ball a little bit quicker. That allows them to get more interceptions. That allows them to defend the ball, knock it down much quicker than they anticipated. So I would say the DBs. I mean, everybody's getting their wealth with this, but to me, I think it's really the guys in the secondary because you see these quarterbacks, they got to get rid of the football right away.
So historically, it's more under Ben Johnson, but we saw some of it in Week 1. The Detroit Lions like to do play action, right? They've got some horses that can go get the ball. Jared Goff is a pretty accurate passer. Well, you don't have a lot of time to play action when you've got Micah Parsons and this defense bearing down on you. I wouldn't say that Washington is a play-action heavy team, but they'll get their quarterback out into the perimeter where he can really hurt you and sometimes extend plays and beat you for one. But it's been amazing to me to watch this defensive secondary, and I thought this was going to be a disaster. I really did. I didn't think Keyshawn Nixon was a top-flight number one. I wasn't sure about Nate Hobbs. I knew he was a physical player, but it wasn't like he was, all-pro or anything like that with the Raiders. And then I really like some of their younger corners. I like Carrington Valentine, and they even tried to bring Valentine back. That didn't work. The law firm has folded once again.
Right.
Well, while Jair Alexander was a healthy scratch for the Baltimore Ravens, crazily enough, the three names that I just mentioned, Nixon specifically, had 5 pass breakups.
Yes.
So are you looking at this from the standpoint of when you got a pass rush like this, you don't have time to play action. You don't have time to 7-step drop. You don't have time to get somebody 30 yards down the field. So now if you're a defensive back, you can be aggressive and you can break on that ball because the likelihood of a double move out and up kind of thing, it's tougher against the Packers defense maybe than it's ever been since Reggie White.
Once again, you're exactly right, but they never established a run game. So there was nothing to be feared. I think if you go back and look at the last 2 games that the Packers have played, nobody's been able to run the football on them. It's just only 2 games. But Detroit, right, Gibbs, Montgomery, those are 2 best running backs in the league right now outside of what I saw last night with Atlanta, Bijan and is it Algier?
Tyler Algier?
Yeah, those 2 guys are pretty good. But other than that, Jaden Daniels, they try to do a lot of stuff with him, but Jaden Daniels weren't scared all night long, so he wasn't able to get into a groove. I think Keyshawn Nixon, to me, you really didn't know if he was going to be cornerback 1 or not, but I'm just saying this, that Micah Parsons, I think, is a direct effect of the pass breakups that Keyshawn Nixon was able to have against Washington. Now, he played his tail off, don't get me wrong, but when you've got to get rid of the football like they're getting rid of it so quickly, you're going to be able to jump on top of receivers and possibly get some interceptions. We saw that right away the first game with Evan Williams.
You know who else had 2 passes defended on Thursday night? Devontae Wyatt, the big boy up front.
That's a different one, yes.
He had 2 passes defended.
Yeah.
He was in the backfield with 2 quarterback hits. So another guy that was able to get some pressure, collapse the pocket a little bit. And this guy essentially is the guy who replaced Kenny Clark.
Right.
And I get it. Wyatt was on the field a bunch last year, but he has become kind of a veteran guy on that defensive line and had himself a heck of a start to the season so far.
Well, because you thought Kenny Clark, right? He was going to be gone for a while, obviously. Got traded to the Cowboys in that deal. But they've got a lot of young talent there. Wyatt Brooks is another young. That Kobe Wooden, that young kid's come on and played very well. So they've got a lot of guys, and they kicked Lucas Van Ness down on the inside a little bit. So they've got a lot of young guys in there that can get the job done. So it's not going to be just about one guy when it's Kenny Clark. It's going to be about a collection of people getting it done. And obviously, you look at Rashawn Gary's numbers. I believe they're up in the first 2 games, and that's a direct result from Micah Parsons. Now, we didn't even talk about Adrian Cooper yet. I mean, he's going to be a Pro Bowler because of Micah Parsons. Because now you have to focus all your attention to him, double or triple team, and now Adrian Cooper and Quay Walker can run and make plays.
So you alluded to the rushing numbers. I'm going to spit these numbers at you. Let me know what you think about it. So I looked up last year. Detroit was the top scoring offense in the NFL last year. Washington was top 5. In terms of rushing offense, both the Lions and Washington were top 3 rushing offenses, right? And they get after you.
That makes sense.
Right? And more with the quarterback than with their running backs in Washington last year. And, of course, Gibbs and Montgomery did a great job in Detroit. Collectively, through 2 weeks, against the top-flight rushing offenses in the NFL from a year ago, the Packers have not even allowed 100 yards rushing.
Yeah, see.
46 for the Lions, 51 for the Commanders.
Right.
That is unbelievable. That tells me that the holes are clogged. Packers are getting the lead, so maybe the team's got to pass a little bit to get back in the game. Can't get to the perimeter because the linebackers are fast, speeding you up. You end up in situations where your down and distance doesn't really favor the run, which we've seen. And everything is working in harmony.
Right.
Everything is in sync, right? You love to see that. It's not just, well, the pass rush is there, but, boy, they can't stop the run to save their lives at all. No. Everything is working together.
We were bad last year against the run.
Yes.
The defense was.
They struggled against it. They really did. So now you had Micah Parsons who can set an edge along with get to the quarterback. He's doing this against 300-pound linemen, right? Setting an edge at 245 and forcing a play to the perimeter. That's incredible. 46 yards from the Lions, 51 yards rushing from the Commanders. That is unbelievable after 2 weeks.
No, it really is, and I'm glad you brought those numbers out. For me, it just felt like neither one of these teams could do anything because you knew both of these teams, Washington and Detroit, that's how they make a living. They want to run the football. Now, Washington does a lot different because they have the quarterback that's very elusive. They do him on some nakeds and some boot runs and those types of things. But you look at this run defense right now, they're stout in the middle, and they force you in the third and long. Here's another thing that works for the Green Bay Packers defense right now, and this is the secret to their success. You ready for this?
I got it.
And I don't know if it's going to work like this every game. All the offense got to do is get up and score. Start fast. Because if that offense can start fast, it flows right into the defensive game plan. Now you can turn loose your pass rush with Rashawn Gary, Michael Parsons, Lucas Van Ness, Brooks, Wyatt, all them guys, Enikbari, all them guys now can play free. So that's how they got to play. They got to get up fast, right, and then turn it over to the defense.
Well, the Packers' first 2 touchdown drives on Thursday night engulfed 188 yards of Lambeau Field turf. At that time, the Washington Commanders had 23 total yards. Just think about that for a second. That's dominance on both sides of the football. Now, we will get into this a little bit later. That game was far too close for anybody's comfort in the fourth quarter after Washington made it 17-10 with a touchdown drive of their own. Keep in mind the Packers have only allowed a touchdown in one quarter of football this year, and that is the fourth quarter.
Right.
First, second, and third quarter, they're pitching a shutout so far. So I want to get into that later in the program. Jason Wilde in Green Bay is going to join us coming up on the other side. I want to talk about the offensive line with Wilde. Ask him if a rotation can still be expected here. I don't like it. I don't like the rotation. I have no idea why Anthony Belton started the other night or was on the field with the kind of rotating back and forth with Kennard.
Started, I thought.
Well, whatever the case may be, Belton was on the field and he found himself with the laundry thrown near him, right? Penalties. I don't understand why they're doing it.
Agreed.
I hope they don't have to do it against the Browns. We'll ask Wilde about it after this. Just getting started. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday with Greg and Gary.
More football talk coming up next. This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Every child deserves a safe, loving, and permanent home. Help the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption find families for children who've lingered in foster care the longest. Learn more at davethomasfoundation.org.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
So that was what the fuss was all about. with J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Although, boy, oh boy, it didn't look that way early on. The first 3 quarters against the Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings down 17-6. J.J. McCarthy throwing that pick 6, and plenty of people, maybe even you on social media, were saying, hey, J.J. McCarthy, welcome to the NFL. But then in the fourth quarter, J.J. McCarthy said, hey, NFL, welcome to my world. Any play that needed to be made with his arm, with his legs, with his head, with his mind, everything came and manifested itself in that fourth quarter. Whatever play needed to be made, J.J. McCarthy was at the forefront of it. So that's what the fuss was all about. That's why Minnesota said, we don't need Aaron Rodgers and go after him. We don't need to keep Sam Darnold. All we needed was dynamite J.J. McCarthy, and that's what he was in his hometown Chicago, winning his first ever NFL start. In 60 seconds, relax, Bears fans. Your quarterback, Caleb Williams, will be just fine.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
Boy, didn't that look really, really special early with Caleb Williams, quarterback of the Chicago Bears, with the new head coach / play caller Ben Johnson, completing his first 10 passes, running for his first NFL touchdown. Visions of Super Bowls dancing in the heads of Chicago Bears fans in 2025. But then, they completely fell apart in the fourth quarter. And give a lot of credit to the Minnesota Vikings defense that made Caleb Williams go from Superman to not even Robin, to not even Ant-Man, especially in the fourth quarter, reverting back to a lot what we saw last year. But remember, Chicago Bears fans, he is in good hands, not just with his talent, but the head coach in charge of things, Ben Johnson. It's going to be a lot more right than wrong. And maybe, just maybe, the Bears could be a playoff team when it's all said and done this year. But Bears fans, RELAX, relax. Caleb is going to be just fine at quarterback. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios on 94.5 ESPN.
Obviously, Belton played the majority of the game, and outside of the one penalty, I thought he played really solid football. He was physical, he was straining, there was great effort. So I thought for his first game, especially, a game where there's really no practice. I mean, you walk through, but if there's no live practice, I thought he went in there and did a really outstanding job.
And the rookie on the field for the majority of snaps on the offensive line. Now, granted, Gary, he had a full week to practice with the understanding that Zach Tom was not likely to play in game number 2. Short week of prep, but he did have time to prep for that particular game. The situation in week 1, Tom goes out with the injury. You're more likely to lean on experience, and maybe that's why Kennard saw some meaningful snaps in that first game against the Lions and played well. We noted on this program with our good friend Jason Wilde, who joins us on the line right now. Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin. Jason, hello. Oh, he dropped out for 1 second. Chris will get him back on the line. But that was my only thought when I saw Belton come onto the field. I was like, well, what are we doing here? Rotation on that right side of the line. I was a little surprised to see him on the field as much as we did. And then, of course, he gets the early penalty. So right away in your mind, it's kind of soured because you remember what happened in the preseason. Penalties were happening all over the place.
They were. And I didn't understand it because, of course, we're not privy to the information that whether he's going to play and how long he was going to play. But obviously the Packers had went in with the intentions of playing Belton a lot, and he played a lot. And I don't think Kennards were hurt or anything like that. I think that's what the game plan was, and I think they're just trying to get him ready. Because if you think about it, the Packers last year down the stretch lost a lot of linemen, and when they need someone to come in and play against Philadelphia, they had nobody. So I think they're guarding against making sure that they've got guys ready to play. And, last year they didn't.
Matt LaFleur asked about it today. Jason Wilde in Green Bay joining us. Hey, Wilde.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, doing well. So was that a surprise to you on Thursday night, Jason, to see that what appeared to be a rotation early on, but really the scales tipped in favor of Anthony Belton? Looking at the snap count here, it's about 46-17. So pretty dominant performance in terms of snap count with the rookie over the veteran.
Yeah, I think they rotated him only twice and then went straight to Belton the rest of the way. And I was surprised, not because I didn't think that they wanted Belton in the lineup, but because of the way the week was structured, right? Like, if it was a normal week where they had regular practices all week long, then I could see, hey, we've got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to work Belton, so we feel comfortable starting a rookie in that situation. But they didn't have any practices. They just had jog-throughs. So what I was expecting, because remember, it was Kennard who went in when Tom got hurt initially against the Lions. He played 15 snaps, and then Belton played 3 at the very end when it was clear that they had won the game. And so what I expected was that if the injury to Zach Tom was multiple weeks, I thought on a short week they would start Kennard because he's more experienced, and not a lot more experienced, mind you. Been in the league for 3 years, but had only played in 3 games before that Detroit game when Tom got hurt. And then if you wanted to go against Cleveland, then if Tom was still out, which there's certainly a chance that could be the case, then you go to Belton because he's got a full week of work. But they decided to go with Belton full time in the second half, and I think they feel pretty good about how it turned out.
Yeah, I think they do, because I was just talking about this team last year where I just didn't feel like they had a lot of depth, and I think that's what they're trying to create. Of course, we talk about Belton, but also Jordan Morgan played too, and because we had some injuries on that front, I think the Packers are trying to develop obviously a solid rotation, but also some depth on the offensive line, on guys that they can actually depend on.
Yeah, and look, in fairness, Jordan Morgan was injured last year. He finished on IR. He started 1 game and played in 6 with that shoulder injury. So, had he been healthy, he would have been able to to spend more time in the lineup when they needed somebody to step in. And obviously he wasn't available, so it ended up not being the case. So now, they had plans for Travis Glover, who, again, the last time we saw him, it did not go well. He was forced into the lineup after 4 snaps against Philadelphia because of the injury to Elton Jenkins, and he really, really struggled. And I talked to him in training camp before he suffered his season-ending shoulder injury that required surgery, and he was really eager. He really wanted to atone for how poorly he played. And unfortunately, he suffers the injury, and he didn't get that opportunity this year. So that leads to the trade that brings them Kennard. And by the way, another reason why I thought they would go with Kennard, they gave up a 6th-round pick in 2027 for him. So that, for Goody, that is, I know that sounds like it's a day 3, it's a late pick. Well, yeah, but for Goody, we know he treats those like gold. So the fact that they gave that up for him and then still didn't choose to play him, I have to admit I was surprised.
Jason, which player do you believe has benefited most from the arrival and presence of Micah Parsons?
Rashawn Gary, and it's not all that close. I mean, look, Rashawn Gary's got 2.5 sacks in 2 games. That obviously, I'm no mathematician, but that puts him on pace for 17 plus I mean, he's going to be Mark Gastineau at the rate he's going. And obviously, I'm kidding, but this is a guy who's never had double-digit sacks in a season, and he's already got 2.5 through 2 games. So, and I'm not saying that he's not a good player. I always feel like people take this as, Wilde's trash and Rashawn Gary. That's not it. But let's be honest here. If Rashawn Gary, who was the 12th overall pick in 2019, and Chris Larson can check me on this, but I believe Micah Parsons was the 12th pick in 2021. If Rashawn Gary is the player that Micah Parsons is, the Packers don't have to trade for Micah Parsons, right? Because he is that guy that you have to know where he is every snap. But he just hasn't been that guy. But in a defense where Micah Parsons is there and he's still able to get his, he's got a 1.5 sacks in 2 games, and he's playing on a limited snap count. And Lucas Van Ness has been more impressive. But to me, this is an opportunity for a lot more one-on-ones for Rashawn Gary, and they always, always, always preach, if you get a one-on-one, we expect you to win it more often than you don't. And so for a pass rusher who, in Gary's case, was insistent that he was double-teamed, I think more frequently than the Pro Football Focus stats were showing, there's an opportunity for him. And so far, he's really taken advantage of it.
And I know it's only been 2 games. We'll just stick with the defense. Just, for me, one question more. The run defense has been very stout. Now, much was made of Jerry Jones saying that, Michael Parsons can't play the run or something like that. But then we give up Kenny Clark, one of our best run-stuffing guys. But this run defense, I think, with Devontae Wyatt, with Lucas Van Ness kicking down inside a couple of times, with Brooks, Kobe Wooden, I think he played very well. I think that's kind of been very surprising to me. We talk about Michael Parsons, but this run defense has been absolutely incredible.
It has, and obviously, as you well know, when you get ahead, teams don't run the ball as much and all that stuff. So I understand that it might be a little misleading, but I think you're right. I mean, look, when we asked Jeff Hafley about, you gave up in this trade, it's great you got Micah Parsons, but you gave up a 3-time Pro Bowler who was really good against the run. And, oh, by the way, in free agency, you also let T.J. Slayton go, who was kind of the rock of your run defense. What's realistic to expect there? And they really like their young guys, but it was interesting that the first thing Hafley said was, we got really good linebackers. And his point was that he felt like even if the quality on the defensive line suffered and dipped without Kenny Clark on it, that they still had a really good group behind him and behind them that could help them be better in the run defense. And I think that's been true. But I would also say, Colby Wooden's been really good. Mm-hmm. And, that's not an easy role to have. And frankly, last year, obviously, Kenny's season was not what he wanted it to be. And he dealt with the foot injury. But I was talking to him earlier in camp before the trade, and he said, Jason, I didn't really play nose last season. And I have to admit, while I watch back the game, I guess I'm not looking to see if he's head up on the center or if he's a shade on the inside shoulder or the outside or whatever, right? But when I think about it, that made sense that maybe he wasn't as good against the run either, because he had never not played in a 3-4 before. In high school, in college, and then throughout his entire time in Green Bay, it was always a 3-4. And he was always head up on the center. And he just was out of his element there. And so now, I didn't get to watch that game. It didn't look like they stopped anybody with the Giants on Sunday. But, it looked to me like he was pretty good in the opener against Saquon. And maybe he is going to help, Jerry Jones improve his run defense. still not sure you get better by trading a 26-year-old generational talent pass rusher, but I wish him the best as he looks to shore up that run defense.
Pretty good stuff after 2 weeks. Yeah, less than 100 yards combined rushing from two of the premier rushing offenses in the NFL a season ago. Packers take on the Browns this weekend, 8.5-point favorites, according to our friends here at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Jason Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin. We always appreciate it, Wilde. Thanks so much.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Yep, you do the same. And we've got a Monday night matchup going on here with the Texans and Buccaneers tied at 7. Looks like Houston's going to put up some points here before this drive is over. I want to detail the impact of the loss of Jayden Reed, because this happened early in the game on Thursday night. Jayden Reed lost, had been dealing with a little something, which limited his snaps in week number 1. But with the ball being spread around the way that it's being spread around, how impactful is the loss of Jayden Reed for however long he is out? We'll analyze that coming up on the other side. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday. Stay with us on ESPN Wisconsin.
Back with more on the green and gold after this on Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday.
When it comes to joint replacement, you want the best care available. The Orthopedic Surgery Center in Pewaukee is a leader in joint replacement, offering same-day surgery with advanced technology. Their team of experts specializes in knee, hip, and shoulder replacements, using the latest techniques to minimize pain and recovery time. The team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin can get you back to what matters, living pain-free. Total joint replacement. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway, and you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run through the end of the 2025 season, with tee time starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package request early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
I'm Pat Dunphy of Cannon & Dunphy, and I'm reaching out to you today not as an attorney, but as chair of the board of directors of Guest House. It's an organization that's been dedicated to dealing with the root causes of homelessness in Milwaukee for over 40 years. Its mission is to treat the homeless with dignity and help them rebuild their lives. So help us help the homeless by investing in the Guest House and the Milwaukee community. And also consider attending our gala on Thursday, November 13th.
The power of friendship has spawned a memorable baseball season in Milwaukee. When you choose to work with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the relationship is more than what feels like having a friend. Pella honors trust and commitment on your behalf before, during, and after the sale. They take those values to heart with every person the Pella team works with. It's natural to feel a little apprehensive about having someone visit your home, but take it from me and my wife. The brilliant Pella designers immediately put you at ease with their experience and professionalism. We love that initial visit, along with how easy they made it to envision bringing our project to life. Pella is committed to being the company everyone wants to do business with, and they've certainly lived up to that and more. And with this month's incredible deal, Gina Della from Pella is here to share why you shouldn't wait to order new windows and doors.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 9/30/2025.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Pitch by pitch, inning by inning, game by game. Watching the Crew is a 162-game journey of grit, hard work, talent, and determination. Dave Spano from Annex Wealth Management. We're with you on your journey as well. Your hard work and money deserve a partner like Annex for your investment, retirement, tax, estate planning as a fee-only fiduciary. Take the next step towards retirement you desire and begin the conversation soon. Head to annexwealth.com and click the Get Started button.
You're listening to Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios on 94.5 ESPN.
Craig Matzik, Gary Ellerson with you at Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, week 2 of the NFL season coming to a close tonight. Gary, you do not like this. It's a Monday night doubleheader. You're not a big fan of that. We've got the Buccaneers and Houston Texans on the field in Houston. They lead 10-7 over Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's got the ball for their second drive. Later tonight, it's the Chargers and Raiders. So you get a little West Coast kickoff at 9 o'clock. Are you a fan of the double-up Monday night deal?
I'm not, but didn't last year they had them on at the same time?
Well, they overlap much more than they will be tonight, because typically this game starts 7 o'clock, but and then another one started at like 8.
So now I'm
or
good.
Something.
Yeah,
you okay? Or 6:30, maybe 7:30.
Yeah, that's what it was.
So you like the separation is important.
I like the separation.
Okay.
And did they say why they're doing this?
Because they can. Okay. There's an NFL thing, right? Because they can. They can do it. The NFL can do this kind of stuff. Yeah. I want to talk about the potential impact of the loss of Jayden Reed. He'll be back at some point this season, maybe around Thanksgiving. We'll see what kind of timeline he's on. But nonetheless, Jayden Reed is going to miss at least the next couple of months of the season. Call it 8 games, maybe 9, maybe 10. What is the potential impact of the loss of Jayden Reed? Now consider this as you answer the question, or think about your answer to the question. 10 pass catchers in Game 1, 6 pass catchers in Game 2. The only one who's cracked the 100-yard mark is the tight end, Tucker Kraft. And the Packers had 2 offensive drives of 90 yards or more against the Washington defense. Now, you can say anything you want about the Washington defense. It's not a great defense. I would say the same about Detroit. They are opportunistic. Usually they have such a big lead. It makes life for their defense easier, but I don't think that's a great defense in Detroit. I do think, for all the troubles that Cleveland has, that's a pretty good defense in Cleveland. And it's a road test, so we might see the impact potentially more in this game than in weeks 1 and 2. But when he went down with that injury, obviously you feel terrible about the player. But where does your mind go from a team perspective on the impact of the loss of Jayden Reed?
Another good question, Greg. You just absolutely...
I didn't rush it?
You're knocking the ball out of the park today, as usual. What they're going to miss is leadership in that room, obviously. But doesn't it feel like Matthew Golden's going to be pretty good? Doesn't it feel like all of a sudden you saw a little gadgetness, I don't know if that's a word, with Savion Williams and how they can use him? I mean, they use Savion Williams much like he was used at TCU. He played a little quarterback. He's a return guy. Play a little slot, motion guy, gadget guy, Swiss Army knife guy. And then you talked about Tucker Kraft. They got Luke Musgrave. Big Sims, the other tight end, if they need to. More of a blocking guy. But they'll miss him. But I'm pretty excited to see more of Golden and more of especially Savion Williams on now how they incorporate him within his offense.
So let me ask you this. When Jayden Reed goes out of the ball game, like he did pretty early in the game, made an incredible catch. I don't think enough attention was put on how incredible of a throw and catch that was.
Right.
Because the penalty wiped it away. Unbelievable, right? Yeah. But then he goes down because of an injury. Jayden Reed somehow always finds a way to come down with that ball against 2 when it doesn't look no window to catch that ball, and he comes down with it. You're going to miss that, no doubt. He's a playmaker when they get the ball in his hands. How difficult will it be, because you mentioned 2 rookies, Savion Williams and Matthew Golden. We always talk about receivers. Are they outside or are they inside? Well, in Matt LaFleur's world, he likes to have receivers play all over the place. And this is part of the reason why, right? Somebody goes out with an injury, well, no problem. We've got somebody who's familiar with that spot that Jayden Reed typically plays. But how early is too early to put Matthew Golden or Savion Williams in that role? And do you have to rely a little more on Wicks and Malik Heath and Romeo Doubs, and maybe establish them as kind of your your three that can rotate in multiple positions and not worry about that yet with the rookies?
You will, and they will do that with the veteran receivers. But the two rookies, they have a huge upside. And if you're playing Belton, which is a rookie, you're probably going to want to see what these young guys got, because now's an opportunity for them to go in there, right? Christian Watson won't be back probably until after the bye week. I mean, they got two good young receivers. Well, Reed and Watson are already down. And I think you'll see them ease these other guys. But Golden's been playing a lot of snaps. I mean, I don't know how many he got this last game, but he's playing a lot of snaps. And you saw Savion Williams come in. Yeah, it will be about Heath and Wicks, no doubt about it. And Wicks will get a lot of attention. But I just like the excitement that those two young rookies can bring to you if, and it feels like he can, Matt LaFleur can get them in favorable situations. You know, like things that you know they can do that won't hurt themselves. Now, they're going to drop some balls because most rookies get a little nervous, so they may drop a ball or two. But their upside is amazing. I mean, had Savion Williams kept his feet, was that like a reverse or something that he was on, or was that?
Oh, he fired down the sideline.
Yeah.
He just ended up stepping out of bounds,
Yeah.
right? I mean, but he
fell
showed
down.
great quickness to get to the sideline.
Yeah, so you see what that guy can do. So I'd be interested to see how they use him a little bit more against Cleveland. You're going to miss a veteran, no doubt about it. Jaden Reed was everything this offense is within the last couple of years since he's been here. One of the best 50-50 ball catchers that they had. But who would ever thought that Romeo Doubs would be your guy after the little fiasco that he had last year? Seems like a different ball player right now.
So Romeo Doubs played 45 snaps in Week 2 against the Commanders. Matthew Golden was second among wide receivers at 37. Dontavian Wicks third at 36. So overall snap count pretty evenly distributed among those top three. What caught my attention is that Golden was not included in that three wide receiver set to start the game. So I thought, well, that's kind of interesting. I expected to see him out there. Yeah. But part of that is because you had Jaden Reed, who only played 4 snaps. So Reed is out. Right now, your receivers are Romeo Doubs, Matthew Golden, Dontavian Wicks, Malik Heath, and Savion Williams, who played 10 snaps. And anytime he's on the field, you kind of get the idea that they kind of want to get the ball in his hands, or maybe he's sort of a decoy.
Yeah.
Right now, people are looking at him and hey, that dude. All right, something's happening, right? That dude.
That's what that will be Sunday against Cleveland when he comes in the game.
Yes.
And that's when you'll be able to sneak Luke Musgrave in behind him. And that's exactly what's going to happen. He's the gadget guy. He's like, do you remember Vinnie Johnson?
I do.
When Vinnie Johnson got off the bench and got ready to come in, what did all the players yell? Shooter!
Well, they called him the microwave for a reason.
Shooter!
Right? He was the microwave.
So you're right. When Savion Williams come in the game, they may not say shooter, but, I mean, a lot of attention is going to be based off that. Now I think you'll see a little fake to Savion and maybe pull it out. There's Luke Musgrave, there's Tucker Kraft, or there's somebody coming on the in route or something like that. Because right now, you know that kid's dangerous. He shows you just enough to know when he comes in the game, you got to have a guy on him.
Was not expecting any Detroit Pistons references on the program tonight, but here we are.
Well,
week 2 of the
I could have
season.
said Ricky Pierce.
You could have done that. Well, you played for the Lions, so you probably went to some of those Pistons games.
I went to a lot of those games.
Watched Vinnie Johnson play a little bit.
Sure
the microwave here on Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday.
Yeah.
The snap count was interesting to watch. The production has also been interesting to watch because it kind of featured Dontavian Wicks on that first drive, and some of that might be due to the fact that the dude can run routes, and the dude can get open. And now you're talking about him being on a slot corner or a nickel back or something like that. Well, size, strength, combination, route running ability, you like that matchup with him. So the way I look at the Packers wide receiver core, you might look at it a different way. Do they have a true number one right now? No, not yet.
No.
At some point in the season they might, but they also don't have, in my opinion, a real 4, 5, or 6, right? It feels like everybody's kind of a 2 or 3, and you can find plenty of matchup mismatches within Matt LaFleur's system that way.
And this is where you was much different when you had Devontae Adams, right? You don't throw it to that guy every single time. All he has to do, he will be Jordan Love, throw it to the guy that's open. Read the defense. If he's double over there, somebody's got single over here. Don't try to force it in. You're going to have a matchup. So Jordan Love has been able to do that these last couple games where he was able to find the open guy, Tucker Kraft. Give it to him. Let him have it. And they found a lot of guys on over routes and all those types of things to spread the football around to keep the defense off balance.
How impactful is the loss of Jaden Reed? One dude specifically might help mitigate that loss more than anyone else. We'll talk about that player after this. Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday continues.
More football talk coming up next. This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday. Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
This offense, Matt LaFleur's side of the ball, dragged this whole team through where they are right now.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
The defense got hot at the right time. That might be what we're seeing here with the Packers defense as well.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
It's time for the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart. Packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirits deals in town. Located at 16th and National in Milwaukee. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action.
It was a big week for the Brew Crew, as not only did they take 2 out of 3 games from the Cardinals, but with a Mets loss to the Rangers on Saturday, they secured their spot in the MLB playoffs. The Brewers would be able to celebrate in style on Saturday as Andrew Monasterio walked it off for the Crew in the bottom of the 10th inning.
For a base hit. Around third is Durbin. Here comes the throw home. Durbin slides in there safely. The Brewers walk it off in 10. And the Brewers, clinching the playoffs earlier today, put an exclamation mark on it here tonight.
Lane Grindle, 620 WTMJ with the call. The Brewers will continue their homestand this week with a 3-game series against the Angels.
This has been the Milwaukee Baseball Report on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by National Liquor Mart.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. September is here and the kids are back in school. Vacations are winding down. And for a lot of us, that means one thing. Time to refocus on the house. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit. And to make it even easier, you'll get 0% financing for 3 years. So no interest and no pressure. Don't wait for the first freeze to realize your windows aren't cutting it. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to book your free estimate today. You'll be ahead of the game, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hey IKEA fans, IKEA is turning 40 and they are giving you the present. From September 3rd to the 23rd, IKEA is celebrating with a huge gift card giveaway. Every day, 3 times a day, 40 lucky winners will score an IKEA gift card worth anywhere from $5 to $500. That's right, 120 winners every day at every store. Don't miss your chance to join the celebration and win. Visit your IKEA Oak Creek or IKEA.us for more information today. Must be a IKEA family member to participate. 1 gift card per IKEA family membership during the promotion.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. And there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Frucci, Managing Partner and PGA Professional at Morningstar Golfers Club, and I'd like to personally invite you to play your next round of golf at Morningstar. Lush green fairways, velvet smooth greens, magnificent vistas from high above our championship golf course. Morningstar was created with the serious golfer in mind, and it continues to be the public course by which all other area public courses are measured. Book your tee time today and reserve a spot on our membership wait list. Come out and see what all of Southeast Wisconsin's been talking about. Hey, you played the rest. Now play the best.
We're back with Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios on 94.5 ESPN.
From the 8 to the outside, wide open touchdown, Tucker Kraft.
Best game of his career. Tucker Kraft eclipsing the 100-yard mark in Thursday night's win over the Commanders. 6 receptions, and he was off from the start early on in this game. And the Packers do a very good job. Jordan Love throws, the ball looks great coming out of his hand, but man, that guy can throw it in the seam as good as anybody, right? They have so many seam throws that connect on. Tucker Kraft able to get into the wild for a touchdown in the win over the Commanders. But a very interesting part of the game, Gary, because Green Bay was running away with things. Just like they were the better team, they were outclassing the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels was not using his legs to really any degree of effectiveness. There was a time where the Packers had 2 touchdown drives that engulfed 188 yards of Lambeau Field turf, and the Commanders had 23 total yards at that time. Mm-hmm. And this is into the game. This is not just first quarter kind of stuff. Still, you get down to the fourth quarter, all of a sudden it's 17-10. And you're thinking to yourself, no, you cannot let this game get away. A game in which you've dominated. Have you been in that kind of situation where you were clearly the better team on the field? You were outperforming the opponent, and it really wasn't that close. But then all of a sudden you look up, and it's the fourth quarter, and it's a one-score game, and you don't feel like it should have been.
Here's where we are with the Packers. It feels like to me. They don't know what they don't know. It's a brand-new team. They are still the youngest team in the league. Felt like to me, Greg, as I was sitting there watching it, that the Packers got bored. And almost like they put it on cruise control. Almost like they knew that they had it in their bag.
A malaise, if you will?
A little malaise. Can I have a little malaise on my sandwich, please?
You may.
Thank you. And that's what it felt like to me. It got boring, it got old, it got stale. And then all of a sudden, when they needed to crank it up, they were able to do that. But I think what they're going to find out along the way is you got to put teams away.
All right, so where does that originate, though? Where does that boredom, as you put it, originate? Because the play call's still coming in.
Yeah.
You're still trying to execute.
Yeah.
Things were clicking.
Yeah.
Maybe the scoreboard starts to get into your head. How does that happen? Where does something like that start?
Well, it's a combination of things, right? I think it's obviously gets to be about execution because a lot of the plays when being executed right. And here's what else is going on is that they're taking Josh Jacobs away from us right now, these last 2 games. They're saying, okay, guess who's going to beat us?
Jay Love. Yeah, put on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? Let him do it.
You're going to beat us. And this happened the last game, too, against Detroit. They went into a little lull. And what Matt LaFleur started to do is he started to try to establish the run a little bit more with Josh Jacobs. And it just slowed the game down to a grind. And it just wasn't working. And then when they got out of that, 17-10, they go, oh, okay, well, let's get back to it's on Jordan Love, let him do his thing. They start throwing the football again. And I think that's what you saw. They're trying to establish Josh Jacobs in every kind of way that they can. And I understand when you get up, you want to just salt the game away with a run game running back because you got one. But right now, Greg, every team the Green Bay Packers play for right now until it changes is going to be about Josh Jacobs, you're not going to beat us. 10, you're going to have to beat us. Now, had 10 complete that pass to Matthew Golden in the end zone down there where he underthrew it, it would have been a different ball game. Because right away, the Packers left points on the field, and that's one touchdown they left on the field.
Glad you brought that up. There were 2 plays in which could have shaped Matthew Golden's night in a very different way. Because he flat out beat the defender. Jordan Love just did not throw a good ball on that 4th down play. I don't mind going for it there, by the way. It was 4th and 3.
Yeah.
They took a shot. Mm-hmm. When you got your defense playing like that, it's okay, right? You can take
that's what they were
that
thinking.
Kind of chance.
You're
that's
right.
Okay.
That's what they were thinking.
And by the way, they had the play.
Mm-hmm.
They had the play. They won. Matthew Golden won. It was just a bad throw by Jordan Love. You can't make that throw later in the season, postseason. You have to deliver that ball.
And that's what's going to cost you, yes.
And there was another one that, 4 inches separated Matthew Golden's hands from the pigskin as it fell to the Lambeau Field turf. Would have been about a 50-yard gain or so. So, his night could have been very different had Jordan Love's throws been a little bit better toward Matthew Golden. So I think that's important to point out. Matthew Golden's getting open, and he is getting a lot of snaps. The drive in which the Packers salted the game away was immediately after Washington scored. My favorite drive of the game, by far.
Is it?
Because it said to me, all right, enough of this garbage. We are no longer bored, Gary. It is 17-10.
Didn't it feel that way?
We are no more malaise.
Yep.
No more malaise.
Yep.
Let's put this team away. We got up early. We stepped on the gas. We knocked them down, and all of a sudden they're in it. No. We're not doing this anymore. So 9 plays, 65 yards, touchdown to Kraft, but it answered. It answered the Commanders' touchdown, and it put that game away, shutting the book on a Week 2 win.
And backbreaking, because where Washington thought they had hope, and the Packers just said nonchalantly, no, that's not going to happen. It's over. That's when they knew that the Packers were really good. Because they felt it too, Washington did. They felt that it was a little lull in the game, but we could just get one score. We could use one. All of a sudden, they did get the score, and the Packers come back, march right back down. What else also a back-breaking too? Maybe we can look this up, but the Packers had 2 drives in excess of 90 yards.
Yes. So I pointed that out. So they had 2 touchdown drives that encompassed 188 combined yards.
Yeah. Crazy. In one game. I don't know if that's ever happened. Maybe under Vince Lombardi, but because they didn't throw the ball much back then, but and the power sweep and all that. But that in itself, Greg, is very dominating, very defeating for a defense and a team when you can march down the field like that.
It was a humbling loss, I'm sure, for the Washington Commanders, who will bounce back. I'm sure they will.
Well, now they're saying Jaden Daniels is probably going to be out this next game because he got hurt against the Packers. They lost like 3 or 4 guys in that game. Austin
Eckler popped his Achilles.
Right, and then someone else is out. And
Daniels goes out with a knee.
And then they had an offensive lineman, too, that's out. So,
yeah, Thursday Night Football. Everybody loves it.
Very, very physical game.
Right? No, I feel terrible for Austin Eckler, though. Get a nice bounce resurgence there with Washington.
Yep.
Coming up in the 7 o'clock hour, we're going to play a little game called Buy or Sell. We'll do it right away at 7 o'clock. Are you buying or selling what I'm giving you here, Gary, with regard to the Green Bay Packers? We'll also do Not My Beat. We'll bring it up with Emmett Golden, ESPN Cleveland. He covers all things Cleveland in Cleveland for our Good Karma Brands sister station, however you want to call it. Emmett Golden joins us coming up at 7:30. 800-990-3776. It's Greg Matzek and Gary Ellerson, Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday from Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee. More after this.
Any coach will tell you, games are won in the preparation. The same's true in cybersecurity. Trend Micro helps businesses move from reactive to proactive with cyber risk exposure management. That means real-time visibility into your risks across cloud, email, endpoints, and networks. For over 35 years, enterprises worldwide have trusted Trend Micro to prepare, protect, and perform. Don't wait for the next threat to blow the whistle. Get secure now at trendmicro.com, because the best defense is being ready before the game even starts.
Grand slams and walk-offs. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon by now, what are you waiting for? Siding Unlimited is Milwaukee's very own national champions. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows? Our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected varieties Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 7-ounce selected varieties Banquet pot pies, 5 for $5. 4 to 6 count selected varieties Dannon multi-pack yogurt, 2 for $6. 6 to 12 count selected varieties Ice Mountain spring water, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 12th.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. The game is over.
On 2nd and 6, good protection, pass wide open, making the catch and getting into Washington territory. Tucker Kraft pulls his way down to the 20-yard line.
And it's the day after.
He's a guy that approaches the game the right way. I can't say enough great things about Tuck and just the growth that we've seen from him from the time he's gotten here. But it's not only on the football field, it's every facet of life, I would say. And he's a real leader for us.
Yeah, I mean, with all the playmakers we have on our offense, you might as well just call us a five-headed dragon.
This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios. Here's Greg Matzik and Gary Ellerson.
Well, no better place to watch sports in the state of Wisconsin than Potawatomi Sportsbook. That's where we are located with Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, recapping a Week 2 win for the Green Bay Packers. Feels like a while ago that the Packers played and defeated the Commanders. We'll also, in this hour, look ahead to Week 3, matched up with the Cleveland Browns, first road contest of the year. So they held strong here, Gary. 2 games, 5 days, 2 quality opponents, 2 wins for the Packers. Nothing to suggest that you're not feeling great about yourself going into Week 3, right?
True. And that's what they got to guard against right now. Because all the outside noise right now everywhere, if you turn your TV on, is really all about the Green Bay Packers. Everywhere. And the Packer fan base feeling it too. I mean, a lot of people talking about Super Bowl right now. It's too early. Too early to be talking about that, Packer fans. Just bring it down a notch. Just enjoy it. They're going to go on the road, play a Cleveland team. Most folks think they're not good, but they are, and you're on the road for the first time. And then behind that, you got the Dallas Cowboys, and you got the big trade with Michael Parsons. So hopefully there's not a little letdown in between this, that these guys can just keep it moving. And hopefully they can get healthy. Like, you would love to have Zach Tom back, right? You'd love to have Aaron Banks back, and those guys are back in your starting offensive line and get that going again while you've already created some depth behind them. So that's the way I see it.
Time to play a little buy or sell here on Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday.
The market is open, and the hot takes are trading fast. From bold predictions to brutal realities, it's time to put the takes on the table. Are you buying or are you selling? It's time to buy or sell.
All right, Gary, you know how the game is played. I tee you up here with a buy or sell question.
Are you okay right now?
No, I haven't been really for years, as a matter of fact. But we'll get through it. Just about an hour left to go in the program. I'll get home and curl up in the fetal position and watch some football is what we're going to do.
It'll be on.
Here we go. The Packers have looked like the best team in football through 2 weeks. Everybody's talking about the Green Bay Packers.
Why you hit with that right
Are
away?
you buying or selling that they, in fact, are today the best team in football?
No. It's the Philadelphia Eagles to me. I saw them in Kansas City is not very good because who's Mahomes throwing the football to? Travis Kelce's 100. His girlfriend, fiance, they're everywhere. So he may be a little bit distracted. So they're old. But the tush push got to go away at some point because that's just sloppy football to me. But right now, until we see them, I believe the Packers played Philadelphia on Monday night. Right now, today, Week 2, Philly, I think, is the number 1 team in the NFL.
Is that due in part to them just winning the title last year, beating Green Bay the way they did? Is any of that factor into your equation? Or are you looking at that plus what they've done so far this year?
I'm looking at that plus what they've done so far this year. I mean, the defense has changed a little bit with players, but for the most part, they're still a very, very dominating team. The Packers are right there, but it's the Eagles for me.
It's been a pretty quiet start to the career for Matthew Golden. Just 2 games, I get it, and his stat line could have been very different had a throw from Jordan Love been a little more on target. In fact, a couple of throws for Matthew Golden. He can get open, he can run, no doubt about that. Are you buying or selling that Matthew Golden will lead the team in targets or receptions at year's end?
Well, that's a good one. selling, I think it's going to be Romeo Doubs. And Tucker Kraft is probably going to be second. Golden will be third.
And that's totally fine, right? If you're talking about spreading the ball around, this is not a negative or a slight on Matthew Golden, if I'm understanding.
I think it's going to be tight, I mean, I think all those will be within 10 to 15 catches of each other, 1 through 3. Yeah, it's going to be tight. But I think that's how it's going to go. Tucker Kraft is going to get a lot more love than he's already gotten from Jordan Love. Because you've got to be able to take Josh Jacobs away, and that's why he's getting open right now. Until they adjust, it's a Tucker Kraft show.
Question 3, are you buying or selling that Jordan Love can up his game to Pro Bowl level this season?
I am, but you on fire today. I mean,
well, here's
you know what? And now I figured it out now. I figured you out just now.
It's taken a couple years.
No.
Let's see what you got.
No. See, the reason why you're not emailing me this stuff, so I'm going to get a chance to see it and think about it. That's what you're doing. I just figured it out. It just clicked in my mind. You're doing this stuff
unfiltered.
So I don't know what's coming. Because you made me run around all morning long. And now you hit me with these. Okay, what was the question again?
Okay, I'll do it again here for you. Are you buying or selling that Jordan Love can up his game to Pro Bowl level?
Buying
Here's why I asked the question.
I'm buying it.
Because the talent level is off the charts. You can't miss that throw to Matthew Golden in the end zone on 4th and 3. You can't. You cannot miss that throw. 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, about 67% of his passes completed. Josh Jacobs still probably at the top of team scouting reports. Stop him, make Jordan Love beat you. You'd love to see that switch maybe a little bit where they just be like, I don't know what to do. We can't stop anybody. So far, it's been a clean performance for Jordan Love, and he hasn't been pressured much either, which I think is a reflection of the offensive line. But he's got to be a good, solid, more than solid. He's got to be a consistent threat every time he's on the field. Do you feel like he is?
Yes, I do. And I feel like he's only going to get better. So I'm buying it. I think he can play at a Pro Bowl level. Within these last 2 games, he's played at a Pro Bowl level. Now, has he missed some throws? Yeah, he has. Here's our problem, Packer fans. He's following 2 Hall of Famers. Nobody throws it like Brett Favre. Nobody throws it like Rodgers. So when we watch football over 40 years, that's the kind of quarterback that's stuck in our head. But there's no quarterback in the league that's like that right now. So we got to get that out of our mind. Just know that he may miss a couple, 2-3 throws, and that's the way it is. I'm not saying he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but he most certainly can be a Pro Bowl player.
Well, and that was one of those throws. You always say this about Jordan Love. He falls. We got to go over the new list, by the way. But Jordan Love is on that list of yours of quarterbacks who are going to give you a couple of opportunities.
Yeah. Did against Detroit.
He did. He did against Washington.
Yeah.
Right? More memorable against Detroit. But that underthrow to Golden,
big 6.
Because a penalty, it wasn't. Yeah. That underthrow to Golden was, that just sort of hung up there.
He's more like Favre than he is Rodgers. No one ever wants, he's probably don't want to hear this, but as far as taking chances, he'll throw it in there. That's just kind of who he is.
Throughout points of the preseason, and even again in week 2, we have seen a platoon system, a snap share on the offensive line. Are you buying or selling the idea of rotating offensive linemen throughout a game and a season?
I think that only happened because of injuries. No, I'm not buying. I don't like it one bit. But I think it happened because of the injuries that you had. Now, you see they only did it to Belton and Kennard. And I think that's the issue over there. Morgan did not sub out. So you got a situation at right tackle where they're trying to develop some depth. And I think that's what they're doing.
Well, and they're still trying to get their complete offensive line. I do believe.
Well, we know what the complete offensive line is.
Right, and that includes Elton Jenkins and Aaron Banks, right? They'd be paying a boatload of money for these guys. Zach Tom as well.
Yeah.
That's their preference.
Yes.
I often wonder how the offensive line feels about that, because there's got to be some degree of knowing exactly the tendencies of that person next to you on the offensive line, and then on another drive you're looking at somebody different. I get it. You get to practice together, get to know each other, but are you really doing enough in practice to know all these guys if you're on the offensive line?
Well, not even that, Greg. You know what it also does? It hurts the run game and the running back because you have all these mesh points that you got to get used to. And certain guys take certain steps, do certain different things that the running back is just not used to doing yet. So there's some cohesion there that they need to get a little bit better and tighten it up. When you're a revolving offensive line like that, it's going to be difficult to run the football. Now, I'm not saying that's why they've not been able to run the football. I think they've not been able to run the football because they've got 7 or 8 guys in the box, and they're daring Jordan Love to beat them.
Jordan Love and the Packers offense, I've been no.
Did you like the one throw that he made to Romeo Doubs on the goal line down there when he kind of checked off and Doubs worked him?
It was a good throw. It was an unbelievable route.
Yes.
The route was ridiculous.
Yes. Work him, Romeo.
That's Romeo's strength. He catches the ball with his hands, catch the ball in traffic, and just throw somebody aside and get open in that little quick corner. Bam.
Yeah.
I also thought the throw and catch.
Is that kind of like you when you were running hurdles?
Well, I didn't do hurdles, Gary.
Why I keep saying you did hurdles?
I don't know. I did a couple times in high school. Maybe you saw me when you were coaching at Brookfield East once or something like that. The throw that Jordan Love made, and the catch was maybe more spectacular, to Malik Heath down the sidelines. Don't let him tell you that Malik Heath can only block, right? Because he kept the drive moving with unbelievable foot and body control. And in a throw that, and I get it, it's kind of going out of bounds, but only one person going to have a shot at catching that ball, and it was Malik Heath.
Yeah.
Then he came down with it.
Yes.
Unbelievable play all around.
Yeah, it was a hell of a throw.
So it's those kinds of things.
You think that was lucky?
No, I don't think so.
Because people who don't buy into Jordan Love, they say that was a lucky throw. But just so you know.
Where you rip your hair out, and I don't have hair to rip out, neither do you, Gary, but where you rip your hair out with Jordan Love is that throw to Matthew Golden, right?
Yeah.
4th and 3.
Yeah.
He's by himself. Go get it. Get some air on it. No pressure. Throw the ball. Throw the ball. Yeah. But, off platform, spin into his left, poof, fling one up there. Yeah. And it's put in a mailbox where only his guy can get it. Right. It's incredible.
Drives you crazy, right?
So he's got that the ceiling is so insanely high for this quarterback. It's incredibly high. But you got to make that throw to Golden, right? Those things have to sort of fall off the map, while the miraculous throws or the wow throws will continue to develop and multiply.
Right. Absolutely.
He can sling it, man.
He's got to be more consistent.
Absolutely sling
that he's not, yeah.
Speaking of slinging the football, our team's starting to kick the tires on Malik Willis. Some interesting quarterback news from over the weekend. We'll relay the latest to you and which team might be interested in the Packers' backup quarterback. We'll do it after this. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday.
More football talk coming up next. This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday. On this show, it's always football season.
If you're a 3-time All-Pro and a 4-time Pro Bowler in your 5th NFL season,
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you just were acquired and Goody got you and he thinks your best football's ahead of you with that kind of football behind you? Holy smokes, man.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
And ESPN Radio Extra Point with David Dennis Jr.
I think he looks worse than the guy.
Wow.
He looked pretty bad yesterday against a team. I mean, he puts that kind of game together against Georgia, puts that kind of game together against Alabama, against a great defense, Ohio State. You say, okay, sure, fine. He looked worse, I think, this week than he did against Ohio State. I mean, the numbers were bad. He was missing guys. He looked timid. He looked like he was second-guessing himself, holding the ball too long. He looked pedestrian against a team that you should, like we were just talking about Oklahoma and Mateer running up numbers and doing that stuff. This was the game where you run up your numbers, and he did not look like that. You got 3 games. You played 2 of them where you look worse than mediocre and 1 where you look like a guy, and that's a bad start for a guy who, people are already writing him off as not just a Heisman Trophy winner. People are writing him as the #1 pick.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
The pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a Bucks legend.
Can't get it off. Marcus Johnson will, though. Can't leave him alone for a ball.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson on Bucks Plus. Marcus and his son Chris offer a weekly beat on Bucks basketball. Get your questions answered and hear from the biggest names in basketball. Find Here District with Marcus Johnson at bucks.com/plus on the Bucks app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get ready to say goodbye to those bland seltzers at the ballpark. Carbless is proudly Wisconsin-born, crafted by real people. A husband and wife team who wanted better cocktails in a can. They're locally made and blissfully better. Carbless offers a bold, true cocktail flavor that's made for baseball fans. Available in fan-favorite flavors like lemon lime, black raspberry, cranberry, and mango. Bringing the craft cocktail bar to your seat. Refreshment that matches the energy of American Family Field is Carbless. Full of flavor, no sugar, and no carbs. Just game day bliss.
This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios on 94.5 ESPN.
So some quarterbacks went down over the weekend, and it's not a good situation in Cincinnati where Joe Burrow is expected to miss at least 3 months due to a turf toe injury. This is a grade 3 turf toe injury that may require surgery. Have you ever had turf toe?
Yeah, and it's painful.
So it feels to me like a blanket definition or a blanket diagnosis, kind of like shin splints.
Yeah.
Right? There's something more going on there.
Yeah.
Something tells me with turf toe there can be a lot more going on
Well,
there.
it depends on how severe it is. So it's the inflammation of the big toe in the joint is what has happened to me. And a lot of guys, I know Sterling Sharp had it pretty bad. I remember him having it really bad. I think Eddie Lacy had it really bad. Deion Sanders had it really bad. I think that's what ended Deion's career was turf toe. And it's when you stub your toe, though, on that AstroTurf and it gets jammed, and then it just never goes away. I've never heard of surgery before on turf toe, but obviously Joe Burrow's getting surgery, so he's going to be out by 3 months. And they had playoff. I don't know if they make the playoffs if Joe Burrow's not their quarterback.
3 months time takes you to, and just do the math here, right? September, October, November. You're looking at Thanksgiving, maybe, for getting Joe Burrow back on the field. So you got to find a way to keep your season afloat, because the Bengals were a team last year that I think you look at the end of the year and you say that is the best team in the NFL not in the postseason. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
And they finished with their hair on fire. Like they were screaming toward the finish line to try and get in. They didn't get in. Would have been one of those teams that, had they gotten in, you would have said, that team's playing right at the right time, and I don't want to face them.
Right.
They could beat anybody at any time. Scary team. So they come in with all these wild expectations. They're paying out the nose for their 2 top wide receivers. They got their guy Hendrickson back, who I know many Packers fans were interested in. Probably forgot his name now that Micah Parsons is in Green Bay, but a different story for another time. Why are we making this all about the Bengals? Well, because they're missing their starting quarterback. They have Jake Browning, who, I don't know, is a backup for a reason. And now, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Bengals have inquired about the idea of swinging a trade with the Packers for Malik Willis. This is according to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Willis, of course, was on display on a couple of starts last year in place of Jordan Love. And you could argue that Malik Willis is one of the very key reasons the Packers found themselves in the postseason to begin with.
Absolutely.
He did more than just keep the team afloat while Jordan Love was gone. He thrived in that opportunity, and it parlayed into another year contract. So he became a questionable first-year flop kind of quarterback to this guy who maybe now has a trajectory to be a starter again somewhere in the NFL, but has found a nice spot in Green Bay, helped save the season last year. And now there's a lot of intrigue around Malik Willis when you have a star quarterback go out for at least 3 months. What would it take to pry away Malik Willis from the Green Bay Packers? If you're Goody, are you just hanging up and saying, no, sorry, we need this guy, very important piece to our puzzle. In the case of injury, we trust him. Because this could happen at any time to any team. Quarterback could go down.
Well, here's how you answer this. Who's the third-string quarterback?
For the Packers?
Yeah. That's
right, right. Yeah, exactly. Do you want Tyler Elgersma or even the resurrection of Sean Clifford?
So, no, you're not making a deal because they don't have one. If they had a guy, then maybe. Because I would have felt better if it was Sean Clifford because he knows the playbook. He knows the plays. I might have felt better about that. But they don't have a guy, so I don't think, unless it's a first, they're not giving him up. It may take a second, but I think it's a first or second rounder, then they probably would have to do it. Because now you get back your first that you lost with the Michael Parsons trade.
Quarterback is such
back in the game.
A critical position. To hear you say that it would require a first-round draft pick. Now, think about this. If the Bengals are who the Bengals think they are, that draft pick will likely be somewhere in the 20s, somewhere, right? If the Bengals are who they say they are, similar. I would agree. Similar. But the quarterback position is such a premium where even a guy like Malik Willis could fetch a higher draft pick than you might think.
Oh, yeah, because last year it was, depends on who wants him. Last year, most folks was talking about a third or fourth round. I think it's higher than that right now. I think its ceiling is much higher than that right now.
It's a really interesting conversation. But I think your point is spot on here, Gary, because anytime you talk about a player who you don't believe deserves playing time, or yes, you can trade that player, you have to ask yourself the question, who is the suitable replacement?
Yeah.
And if you don't have a suitable replacement, you got to be very cautious about making that move. And the Packers do not have a suitable replacement.
Right, and you got to blow your socks off, and that's got to be a first-round pick. Other than that, I'm not listening to anybody.
Blair Keel ain't walking through that door, Gary.
Matt Hasselbeck, he not coming through.
Aaron Brooks ain't walking through that door,
not happening.
Gary.
Yeah, no. So there you go.
Examples of former third-string quarterbacks who actually were competent.
Ty Detmer is not walking.
Well, Ty was a backup to Brett, and then Blair was number 3.
Okay, fine.
Right? I think Blair got some time a year. Maybe Brunell was number 2, and Ty
was
the
smartest of the group, though, according to Brett.
No doubt about that. Yeah. Well, that's not a very high bar either.
Stop.
With Brett. Brett's not the...
Stop.
That's, come on. Let's be honest about that. Ty Detmer, the smartest quarterback in the room, that included Brett Favre, that's not a high bar. A very interesting conversation. Who knows where this goes? I'm sure they're kicking the tires on any competent backup situation.
Yeah, they have to be.
Because you've got a star quarterback here gone for 3 months. The situation in Minnesota a little different. J.J. McCarthy could miss 2 to 4 weeks with an ankle injury. They got Carson Wentz, so they do have a... I don't know if a suitable replacement is. It makes a lot of sense to describe Carson Wentz at this point of his career. But experienced. The guy who's been there before is not going to be afraid of the situation. That would not be the case if a backup quarterback, other than Malik Willis, would be forced to play for the Green Bay Packers.
I say this, and now here's J.J. McCarthy's on as we talk about this. I say this, if Wentz doesn't work out, they're going to trade for Kirk Cousins. Bring him back. Because I think the Vikings think that they can make the playoffs. I really truly think that. And maybe Kevin O'Connell and all those people there, maybe they overthought J.J. McCarthy. I just didn't see it. I mean, I didn't see it in college. I didn't see it professionally. He's only played 2 games. He's really a rookie, so he doesn't know what he doesn't know. I don't know how they thought that he was going to replace Sam Darnold. That just blew my mind. You just don't replace somebody that put up those kind of numbers to a quarterback who's never played before, unless they thought he was the next Jaden Daniels. I'm not in practice every day, but I just didn't see it. He didn't throw the football a lot when he was at Michigan. Jaden Daniels threw the heck out of football in college. You got to be able to throw the football. He didn't do that much. Now, he won. He's a leader of men, don't get me wrong, and he made some timely throws when he had to make them, but he wasn't throwing the football 30, 40 times a game. That's the only thing that kind of caught me weird about J.J. McCarthy when he went in the first round.
I would not expect to hear that the Minnesota Vikings are interested in Malik Willis, nor would I expect the Packers to execute a trade of Malik Willis to the Minnesota Vikings. Much higher chance of that happening with the Bengals. But I don't think this goes anywhere. I really don't. And I think it's for the reasons we've discussed. You have to have a backup quarterback in the NFL.
And they don't have one.
And it's a really tricky situation because you're paying Jordan Love $50 million, Micah Parsons being paid a boatload of money, although only a little over $1 million counts against, that's his base salary, Micah Parsons this year, counts less than $10 million against the cap. That's why you should never be fooled by big dollar amounts of guaranteed money. They made it work. They always make it work with the salary cap. You've got a backup quarterback in Malik Willis that you're paying pretty good money to, and it's for good reason, because you cannot be caught with your pants down.
No.
You can't. You can't. It's happened to the Packers before where they didn't put much into that position, and then he had the likes of Graham freaking Harrell running around the field not knowing what the hell he was doing. He wasn't an NFL quarterback, but he was the backup because that's how they did it. And Aaron Rodgers didn't like any quarterback who could even jeopardize or possibly threaten his time.
Correct.
So the backup was a bad backup for years in Green Bay.
Had to be.
Matt Flynn was the only competent one. He and Aaron were buddies.
Yeah, right. And that was the only
right.
reason.
Rolling with Scott Tolzien. Like, what are we doing here? So the Packers finally got smart after Aaron was shipped out, and they've got a backup who is competent.
Yeah,
and that is
a couple games
luxury in the NFL.
Absolutely. Totally agree. And that's what they got to have. I mean, I think if you're looking to get to the playoffs, keep it moving, you've got to have a quarterback. Now, I would say this. You've got to give Matt LaFleur and them a lot of credit because the game plan wasn't the same game plan they had with Jordan Love. Matt LaFleur and that coaching staff put a game plan together for Malik Willis. And I thought he was exceptional about that. Matt LaFleur, I just don't think gets enough credit around the circles in the NFL how great of a coach that he is. I mean, he was able to change his whole game plan and go win 3 games with a quarterback that Tennessee maybe really didn't want. He's with the Titans, wasn't he?
Well, one of those places, right, where it's just not easy to play quarterback.
Right.
If you're one of, I would say, at least 4 franchises in the NFL. If you're a rookie quarterback and you end up in Tennessee, Cleveland,
not going to develop you,
New York Jets, or in Chicago, it is going to be an uphill battle.
Stay away.
It is going to be an uphill battle.
This is true.
That's why Joe Flacco is your starting quarterback in Cleveland. Amazingly. No, this is not 2007.
Right.
Emmett Golden, ESPN Cleveland, is going to join us. It's Not My Beat coming up next year. Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday continues. They're at the half right now in Houston. Buccaneers lead the Texans 14-10.
Back with more on the green and gold after this on Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on Drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward play, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
I'm with James Imaging Systems client Preston Clark. He oversees IT services at Creative Business Interiors. Preston, you get the benefit of one-on-one relationships with the James team, like when your sales rep said something unexpected. What did they say?
Hey, this is a little high. You're not printing as much as we thought you were going to print.
Then the James team member had even better news.
Correct. Let's bring that down. Let's make it a little cheaper and still keep you on the same program.
The James Managed Print Services Program. All your document output devices bundled under one invoice that includes service and supplies for one low cost per print. Nice, right, Preston?
Yes, felt great. Felt secure, you know. Don't have to worry about, again, somebody just coming in and selling something and then walking away and never hearing from them again.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, and digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Well, Mike, our family is expanding.
What? You're kidding. We donated the high chair and baby toys a long time ago.
Mike, we're not having a baby. Our PCI family needs to expand.
Oh, whew. You're right. Business keeps growing, and we need more carpenters.
We're looking for experienced full-time carpenters with a variety of skills.
Consider joining our team at Professional Construction, Inc.
Learn more and apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
You're listening to Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios on 94.5 ESPN.
Well, first road game of the year for the Green Bay Packers on Sunday, taking on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. A little extended break here for the Packers. Off day tomorrow. They pick up the practice week on Wednesday. Green Bay 2-0 after a couple of convincing wins over Detroit and Washington. Few teams are as hard to figure out as the Cleveland Browns, Gary. A team that won one game in 2016. They got up to 11-5 in 2020. They were 11-6 in 2023 and 3-14 last year. It's a hard franchise to figure out. They have a trouble finding the quarterback situation. Side of Baker they had for a couple of years, sort of brought them back. It's been kind of a mess at the quarterback position for a number of years in Cleveland.
Yeah, they've just been trying to figure it out. I don't know if it's with ownership or how the organization is ran, but they haven't put together any consistency as of late. I just think they need to Flacco's going to be their guy, but at some point they're going to have to get a young quarterback to try to lead them into the playoffs are really where they want to go. I mean, they need a future, and Flacco is not the future. So when if you get drafted there and you go there, you just know there's not a lot of hope, not a lot of promise in winning games.
Let's dive into the Cleveland Browns. Who are these guys? We check in with ESPN Cleveland's Emmett Golden on the line with us now. Hey, Emmett.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing?
Doing well. Did I phrase that appropriately? Are the Cleveland Browns truly one of the more confusing franchises in the NFL to try and figure out?
I mean, I think that's accurate. You know, they have drafted some really good players over the years. I mean, we just start with Myles Garrett. Their draft class this year has been really good. They've also took some huge swings and misses. We're watching Baker Mayfield tonight, and Baker Mayfield looks great. When he was with the Browns, he was solid, but wasn't quite mature enough to lead a franchise. They decided to move on from him, and they got very desperate and took a big swing for Deshaun Watson, and that has failed miserably. So, yeah, it is confusing. You see some positive things. Kevin Stefanski, 2-time Coach of the Year. You know, you look and go, okay, they have some pieces that you would think they would end up being successful by now, but that quarterback position keeps on biting them in the butt.
Yeah, and that's kind of thing in the NFL, right? If you don't have one, it's kind of tough to get to the Super Bowl or even get into the playoffs. And I think if you go back and look at most teams that are in that position, they all kind of have a solid quarterback to try to help them get there. If not, they got a pretty good defense to do it. Speaking of defense, I don't know. Did you want Myles Garrett back? Did you want him back, or did you want the draft picks?
Well, it was a weird situation. You don't want to let go of a talent like Myles, but you understand the haul that you could get if you let him go.
Right.
The reason why the Browns would not let him go is honestly due to the Deshaun Watson contract. The reason why they gave Deshaun all that money because they looked at their other players, that big ticket items, Denzel Ward, David Njoku, and Myles Garrett being the biggest. And that as long as those guys were on the roster, they could move the money around. And they knew that if they traded Myles Garrett, that they would essentially have to get rid of absolutely everything. From a cap standpoint, they wouldn't have been able to function. So while I understand where this team is at, they weren't necessarily, on the verge of just being a great pass rusher away from being a Super Bowl contender.
Right.
So the picks would have been nice, but I can tell you this, that, you always have a chance when you got 95, coming off that week in and week out. But Myles is frustrated starting out 0-2, and I'm pretty sure he wish he wouldn't have caved, even though that $40 million a year is pretty nice.
Emmett, what do the Browns do best?
Oh, they play defense, man. They get after the quarterback. The sad thing about the first 2 weeks is that the Browns have played as though they are the best defense in the NFL. And I know Green Bay has been out of sight, and they're right up there in that conversation, too. This defense has been amazing. The issue is the offense has been so bad. The special teams have been so bad that it gets to the point where, the defense plays great defense for 3.5 quarters or 2.5 quarters, and then they kind of let go of the rope because they go, man, we've already given up a field goal. We've given up 10 points. This game is over. So what they do best, man, is they get after the quarterback. They stop the run. Defensively, they're a little light in the secondary now after M.J. Emerson was lost in training camp and Denzel Ward left the game due to some cramps. So they're not as deep in the secondary, but boy, oh boy, do they get after the passer.
No, you're right, and that's kind of how I saw them too. And then once teams get up on them, they kind of get defeated because the offense can't score any points. And speaking of offense, Flacco's going to be your starting quarterback. How do you think he's performed so far?
Well, week one, I thought he was solid. I thought, he's kind of what people have been asking for. Like, just give us a professional quarterback, and, and we'll be okay with that. But he looked really old against the Ravens because the Ravens put pressure on him, and he couldn't move.
Yeah,
he couldn't move at all. And, that's his downfall. He was never the most athletic guy, but at, being in the league 18, 20 years, 40 years old, he's just not moving right now. So I'm usually one of the people in Cleveland that go, don't overreact. But after seeing his inability to really move, I'm even wondering if it's time to give Dillon Gabriel an opportunity early in this season and see if they could sneak a win or two out.
Well, getting away from Micah Parsons is not a strength here, and Jared Goff couldn't really do it. I don't imagine Joe Flacco will be able to do it either.
Yeah, I don't think
smart guy
anybody
can
could
still
do
sling
that.
it.
Right.
Yeah, right. I mean, smart guy can still sling it, but what I just can't understand here, Emmett, and I don't know if Cleveland fans can either. How do you end up in a position where he is your quarterback? I don't get it. I don't understand why Cleveland. And I would argue the New York Jets probably fit into this category. The Bears fit into this category. Maybe the Tennessee Titans. If you're a quarterback and you are selected by one of these franchises, good luck. It is an uphill battle, and it's probably not going to go well. What is it about Cleveland that just sort of sucks the life out of quarterbacks?
Well, I mean, I can speak about this situation here and why they decided to go after.
Well, Bernie Kosar is pretty good.
Well,
Yeah, Bernie was the best.
Kosar.
Bernie is, he is the king of Cleveland. And even Tim Couch actually was a really good quarterback. He just was on an expansion team, and they kind of destroyed his career, the first of many.
Exactly.
Since 99.
Emmett, that's my point. This is on repeat. It just happens over and over in Cleveland. I just don't get it.
The disappointing thing is, we could go back to Baker, man. Baker came in after this team had went 1-31. He gave them some hope. He won some games, and the city was on fire, and everybody felt great. Okay, we got our franchise quarterback. And then he rubbed his teammates the wrong way in some situations. Wasn't necessarily always on the same page as Kevin Stefanski, and he just really needed to mature. And the Browns decided that, where he is right now, he's not going to be the guy to take us to a Super Bowl. And hindsight is always 20/20. You look at that and go, man, maybe if we were a little more patient with him, he would have matured on our time, and we'd have him right now. So even when they get it right, they get it wrong.
This is true. And also a little bit of bad luck, too, because really, if you think about the running back situation, you had a great running back situation, then they get injured, and then now it just keeps snowballing, and then you move past that, and then you draft Shedeur Sanders, and you're talking about Dylan Gabriel may be the next guy. If Gabriel goes in the game and it's not Shedeur, I think all hell's going to break loose in Cleveland.
Well, I mean, all hell will break loose in Colorado, not necessarily in Cleveland, because what I've found is that he has a huge fan base. They're very vocal, but they're not Browns fans. They're Shedeur fans. I think Browns fans do not care who the guy is, just as long as they could come in and win. Yeah, and I could tell you, what the Browns like about Dylan Gabriel is he doesn't show up to have a good time. He shows up to work. I don't even know if I've ever seen him smile. He is dead serious, and he is always focused. And you have a guy in Shedeur who probably is more talented athletically, but, kind of laid back, kind of easy going. And I think the thing that maybe that Shedeur needs to do the most is just kind of mature. It's his first time being a third-string quarterback. You can tell he doesn't know what to do on the sidelines. First time not having his dad as his head coach. So he's adjusting to a lot of things, while I think Dylan Gabriel is ready to at least get a shot. And I think Shedeur will be at some point, but when it comes to who's ready to handle the entire playbook and, is just really focused on coming in and playing and winning right now, you can see Dylan Gabriel is all about business.
They retired Shedeur's number in Boulder, and he almost won the Alamo Bowl last year. It's just such a strange situation there, right? He almost won the Alamo Bowl.
Yeah, almost. Let me tell you, these folks are ride or die with Shedeur. I don't care if you are just a little objective about them. Oh, you get called all type of names and all type of stuff. So yeah, two fan bases with completely different agendas. Browns fans just want to win, and Shedeur fans just want to see him play.
Any talk about the Packers on your show in Cleveland this week, Emmett?
Well, we usually pivot on Tuesday, Wednesday, but I can tell you we talked about the inability of Joe Flacco to move and said, what in the heck is he going to be able to do against that Green Bay defense? I also host Game Night on ESPN Radio, and we talk a ton about the Packers. Man, I mean, they easily look like the best team in the NFL right now, and I know it's just through 2 games, and you got to stay healthy and put it together for an entire year, but even when the schedule came out before Parsons was on that team, everybody in Cleveland looked and said, man, this team might end up being 0-6 because there is not an easy game at all to start the season for them. That's also part of the reason why I think they put Flacco at quarterback and don't have a young guy, because it just, you would basically be feeding those 2 dudes to the wolves, if you will. And even myself kind of called for Dylan Gabriel today. I'd love to see him get a chance next week, but, they probably destroy him too, because that defense out there in Green Bay, man, is out of its mind. That team, they've just been amazing, in the first part of the season.
He's the best in the business. He's Emmett Golden. Check him out on Game Night on ESPN Radio. Great national host, great local host in Cleveland as well. Our teammate and friend, Emmett Golden from ESPN Cleveland. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, you bet. Emmett Golden, one of the real good guys in the business here, joining us on Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday. All right, coming up next, we round out the show with what is real and what isn't after 2 weeks of the NFL. Kind of a global look as to things happening around the league, not just here in Green Bay, but around the league. We'll do it after this.
More football talk coming up next. This is Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday. The Homer Hour with special guests every day from 5 to 6.
Micah Parsons is now a member of the Green Bay Packers, and if they don't make the Super Bowl, it will be a disappointment.
The best 60 minutes of your day happens on the Homer Hour.
NFC Championship games should feel really familiar. When you have a defense like that we already know is really good, and then you add a guy like that, NFC Championship games should be very familiar.
Weekday afternoons from 5 to 6 on 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. So the big, beautiful bill is now law. How does the new law affect individuals? For starters, the current tax rates topping out at 37% are made permanent. Taxpayers age 65 or older get an extra $6,000 deduction, but with a phase-out. Social Security is still taxable as it has been. You heard me. Social Security is still taxable depending on your income. Individuals may deduct up to $25,000 in qualified tip income. Up to $12,500 of the premium for overtime pay is deductible. Of course, there are restrictions. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call 414-325-2040 now to set up a meeting to see how you are affected by these and other provisions of the new law. Don't be surprised on April 15th. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
The power of friendship has spawned a memorable baseball season in Milwaukee. When you choose to work with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the relationship is more than what feels like having a friend. Pella honors trust and commitment on your behalf before, during, and after the sale. They take those values to heart with every person the Pella team works with. It's natural to feel a little apprehensive about having someone visit your home, but take it from me and my wife. The brilliant Pella designers immediately put you at ease with their experience and professionalism. We love that initial visit, along with how easy they made it to envision bringing our project to life. Pella is committed to being the company everyone wants to do business with, and they've certainly lived up to that and more. And with this month's incredible deal, Gina Della from Pella is here to share why you shouldn't wait to order new windows and doors.
Order today and get 0% interest for up to 60 months. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 9/30/2025.
At Citizens Bank, we believe banking is more than transactions. It's about being recognized and remembered. It's feeling like you're understood and supported along the way. It's the small stuff that says, we know you. Because when your bank gets you, banking just feels better. Citizens Bank. Bank where you belong. Learn more at citizensbankwi.bank/belong. Citizens Bank is member FDIC.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Baseball is back. Brian Balaga here to bring you a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. A delicious and perfect pairing for a day at the ballpark. Stocked at American Family Field all season long. Surfside is only 100 calories per serving, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Ask for it at your local bar or liquor store. Surfside, an official partner of the Milwaukee Brewers. Must be 21 years of age. Please drink responsibly.
We're back with Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday, live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios on 94.5 ESPN.
To say, put the past away, wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend.
Craig Mancik, Gary Ellerson. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday here. We've got a Monday night doubleheader. So we've got Tampa Bay leading the Houston Texans 14-10 in the third quarter, about halfway through. Late kickoff tonight, 9 o'clock. Hope we got a nap in today. Chargers taking on the Raiders out west. So
that makes sense out there, right?
For the 9 o'clock tip, 7 o'clock out there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it makes sense for them.
Right.
That's a tough putt if you're on the East Coast. And it kicks off at 10 o'clock your time.
No, but you got a game in.
Yes.
So basically what they did, they set up the West Coast to, you're not trying to be home at 3 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Trying to watch a game.
That's the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
So this game kicked off a little early today because of the Monday night doubleheader. This thing started about 6:30, 6 o'clock, I think, 6, whatever it was.
Right,
it
that'd
was
be
earlier than
3
usual.
o'clock out on the West Coast. Right?
About 4. Right, it's a 2-hour difference out west.
I thought it was 3.
No, it's 2.
What is it in Vegas?
Hawaii is 5. It's also 2 in Vegas.
Is it 2 in Vegas?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yep, Arizona
What
doesn't
about
do
Arizona?
daylight saving. They don't do daylight saving.
What do they do?
They beat to their own drum out there. That's what they do.
Okay.
Hawaii also does not do daylight saving. The only 2 states.
What Hawaii, what do they do?
Well, they're 5 hours different, I think, most of the time, and then they don't do daylight saving, so then it's all based on
somehow I feel like when I do this show with you, I get smarter every time.
Well, I feel like I've led you down a bad path here, but it is true. They don't do daylight savings in Arizona.
Just Arizona and Hawaii.
Yes, as far as I know.
Yeah, I bet you Haley didn't even know that.
Well, this is why we come on the program here, try and get through it.
Yeah.
2 weeks into the NFL season, what is real and what is not after 2 weeks of the NFL season? So I'll tee you up. It's kind of a global look at the NFL after 2 weeks. It's not necessarily Overreaction Monday, right? These aren't the teams we follow necessarily, but we like to have a pulse on the league.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can do here.
Here we go.
Let's play contender or pretender with the 0-2 team. So I'm going to give you.
This is why I never got an email today. Right? This all this stuff here. This is why.
I very explicitly
no.
do the rundown.
No. This is why right here. Go ahead.
I believe I did about 7:15.
I'm just dangling in the wind right now. Watch me float around.
So I'm going to give you the 0-2 team. You tell me if that team is a contender or pretender in the NFL. Okay? Contender or pretender.
Can you tell me whether you agree or disagree with them?
Yes, of course.
Okay, here we go.
Now, contender, I mean, like playoffs, they got sights set on something bigger than the last game in January.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. The 0-2 team we begin with. The Miami Dolphins. Contender or pretender?
All hell's breaking loose in Miami.
What is going on down there?
He's not a real head football coach, and it's falling apart. He's lost the locker room. Those guys don't respect him anymore. So he's gonna have to go away. Pretender. They're not getting that back.
Stay in the same division here.
Did
the
you
0-2.
agree or disagree?
No, I agree. But I don't get it. Like,
what's the head coach's name? I forget his
Mike
name.
McDaniel.
Yeah. He's part of McVay and LaFleur and all those guys.
He's got a little hipster cat to him.
Well, I think they all coach together, too. They don't talk about him that much, McDaniel.
Not so much.
I think he's in that group.
It's a team they're loaded with speed, which can be intriguing.
Locker room is a mess.
Well, I feel like any team with Tyreek Hill on it, the locker room is not going to be easy to control.
Well, you got to have a stronger head coach, and they don't have that.
They don't have a Holmgren.
Yes.
To control that.
Yes.
I would agree. They are pretenders,
Brett.
and it's a. All of a sudden, that coach is on the hot seat down there. Like, that's a bad situation.
Yep.
We'll stay in the same division here. The 0-2 New York Jets, contender or pretender?
Pretender. There's nothing.
Nothing there.
Now he's hurt. Justin Fields got a concussion. Tyrod Taylor, he's hurt too. So, they got pretender.
Let's go with the team the Packers will face on Sunday, the 0-2 Cleveland Browns.
Pretender. There's nothing there. I mean, he's right. Deshaun Watson, that killed that franchise.
How about the 0-2 Tennessee Titans? Played a little better over the weekend, albeit in a loss. Cam Ward, first overall pick, starting at quarterback as a rookie.
He made a hell of a throw back across his body.
He did. It's one of those where coaches tell you, don't do that, and then you get a touchdown out of it.
You saw the arm, though, the arm strength. Pretender, though, still. They're still growing.
That's going to be a while.
Yeah.
The 0-2 Kansas City Chiefs, contender or pretender?
I'm ready to put them out to pasture. But I think just because they're the champions, they'll get Rashid Rice back. Some of these guys will get healthy.
Week 7, though.
Yeah, but I think they'll win enough games where they can get like 9, 10 wins, and they can get in there. Contender.
So Rashid Rice is out until week 7. Xavier Worthy is injured.
Yep.
Those are your top 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
Travis Kelce is...
He's old, man.
Kind of starting to fade.
Yep.
Right?
Can't separate no more.
Well, it's a much more interesting game against Philly over the weekend if he hauls in that pass at the 2-yard line instead of it swinging out of his arms and being picked off.
Yeah.
But you got to come up with that. Travis Kelce got to catch that ball.
Bro.
And they don't really have much of a running game. They're still trying to rely on Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, for goodness sake.
Just think if they would have taken Jonathan Taylor instead of I think they took a little running back out of LSU.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah. How great they would have been.
That did not work out very well for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The New York Giants, 0-2, got caught in kind of a shootout with the Dallas Cowboys over the weekend. The Giants supposed to have a good defense. It did not show up on Sunday.
I thought the Giants were going to be my surprise team out of the NFC East, but they're not. They are a pretender. I think they are what they are.
A few more teams here for you. 0-2 teams, contender or pretender. Let's go to the Chicago Bears.
Man, you know I'm rooting hard for Caleb Williams. I don't know if
why.
Because he's just I like guys that has all the talent in the world, and you see it, but they can't put it together. He may be one of those guys where Jeff George. I mean, there have been a lot of great quarterbacks that you've seen in the NFL that just can't do it. He may be one of those guys just can't get out of his own way. I mean, he makes some hellacious throws, but he's all over the place. He's erratic.
The 0-2 New Orleans Saints, contender or pretender?
New Orleans Saints?
Yeah. You're looking at me like, are you serious with asking me that question?
Spencer Rattler?
Yeah, that's not a good situation there.
Not a good situation there.
The final 0-2 team are the Carolina Panthers.
Nothing. And I said this to a bunch of my folks before. C.J. Stroud or who's the
Bryce Young is out there?
Yeah. Take the bigger guy. C.J. Stroud was a better quarterback. They missed, and so now they are where they are.
So if I'm doing my math correctly, Gary,
one team.
All of the 0-2 teams.
But one.
Well,
Kansas City.
But you're ready. You're ready to make them a pretender. I feel like you're close to making them a pretender.
But not yet.
Okay. I would agree.
They still got some fight left in them. Don't kid yourself.
Out of those teams, but they're all of a sudden not. I don't think they're the best team in their division.
Right. Now their division is tough.
Right. That got tough in a quick hurry.
Quick hurry. I like that.
And the Chargers take the field later tonight. Chargers are a good team.
I'm ready to watch
that's a squad. Maybe one of the best quarterbacks in the AFC that
Jim
nobody
Harbaugh.
talks about with Justin Herbert. Other stuff from around the league is Mac Jones this season's version of Sam Darnold. So Mac Jones steps into Brock Purdy's situation, quarterbacking the San Francisco 49ers. In balls out, Mac Jones had a great start to his career in New England. Then it kind of fell apart. He fell out of favor. Well, now this long, winding road has led him to San Francisco, where he put up big numbers over the weekend in a 49ers win. And, with Purdy's situation being what it is, Mac Jones, could he be this year's version of Sam Darnold? A veteran who far outperforms expectations.
Yes, because of Shanahan. Shanahan is a hell of a head coach, offensive coordinator. He's really good. Absolutely, yes.
We are out of time on the program. Hope you enjoyed it. It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Monday. We're back again next week, hopefully recapping another Packers win. They will take on the Browns on Sunday. First road contest of the season for the Green Bay Packers.
Can't wait.
He's Gary Ellison. I'm Greg Matzek. Thanks to Chris Larson for producing. All the fine folks here at Potawatomi Sportsbook. Enjoy the rest of your night on ESPN Wisconsin.
Well, you and I, we make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right